What's a conspiracy theory so obviously true, but people still don't believe it? What's the best rap line of all time? What is the absolute worst smell in the world? Dead people. Off to a great start. I'm ready. I'm ready for the rest of this thread. Let's do it. A bag of rotting potatoes as they turn to brown liquid and slimy decay. Why is brown liquid in quotation marks? It's brown liquid. Bathroom after dad was in it. My dad, your dad, her dad, their dad. Doesn't matter whose dad. Don't nobody go in there for about 35-45 minutes. Tonsil stones. Ew! The inside of an unwashed belly button. I had the displeasure of getting a whiff of this at work. The button belonged to an obese woman who had awful hygiene. In 28 years on Earth, I've never smelled anything that immediately made me want to ram 2 pencils up my nose and headbutt a desk. Ew! Oh my god, that's disgusting. When you forget to clean the shaker and you leave some protein powder in it, after a day, you could die sniffing that thing. Vomit. Absolutely the most gut-wrenching primal disgust. Why did I think it would be a good idea to read this? What did school try to teach you that was obviously false? I drew a picture of a butterfly in preschool and got in trouble for arguing with my teacher because she said butterflies don't have legs, so my picture wasn't accurate. What? What? That's just like such a stupid thing to tell kids. Little preschoolers? Of course butterflies have legs, you imbecile. That I wouldn't have a calculator on me wherever I go. Yeah, funny how that turned out. Saying no to bullies will stop them. The food pyramid. Wait, you're telling me I shouldn't eat an entire loaf of bread every day? Yeah, the dairy one was pretty forced in retrospect. I used to think, I don't know if it was just because I'm dumb and don't remember it properly, but I used to think that food pyramids had eggs classified as dairy, but I might just be wrong. I know it's not. I know it's not dairy. I promise. Egg is protein. It's like meat. That the American Civil War was not actually fought over slavery, but over states' rights. This was at public school in Texas, around 2007 to 2008. In 8th grade, sex ed, we were told that if males didn't have some sort of release, their testicles would explode. Seriously. I've always thought it was intended for comic relief, but the instructor never did give us the "I'm just kidding" line. Needless to say, I went to Pound Town regularly as a child to avoid that fate. I ain't going out like that. What's in "I'll never be one of those people" rule you broke? I'll never be a fat. Here I am, a fat. I swore never to date single moms. It was the most bittersweet thing I've ever experienced in my life. When I finally made a Reddit account just to do one thing 6 years ago, that I'd never be that parent with kids screaming inside a store. I think that's just unavoidable, unless your child doesn't have vocal cords. A Croc wearer. Guys, there's nothing wrong with wearing Crocs. Crocs are comfortable. I love Crocs. Wish I had some Crocs. I lost mine. Always swore as a kid I would never smoke. I used to cry because my parents wouldn't stop smoking. Me and my brother would say like, if you don't stop smoking, that means you don't love us. Yeah, generally always said I'd never smoke. I grew up to smoke. My father. I became a father, and I became my father. I wish I would have just listened to him though. This would be so much easier now. Who has the clearest and purest voice you've ever heard? The girl who sang Jasmine's part in A Whole New World. Eva Cassidy. Nat King Cole. Whitney Houston. The first time I heard that voice, I was gobsmacked. So tragic what she went through. I will add Neko Case too, because she has an amazing voice and range. Love her. Sarah Bareilles, simply because I haven't seen her mentioned yet. Has to be up there with Mama Cass and Karen Carpenter. Enya. Andrea Bocelli. Him singing Hallelujah with his daughter is incredible. Freddie Mercury. Was wondering if we were gonna see him. Nora Jones for me. Celine Dion. I don't actually like her music, but her voice is absolutely beautiful. I just wish she'd sing something that did her voice justice. James Earl Jones. Ah, yes. This is a good pick. Love me some Darth Vader and other stuff that he does. I don't know. It has to be David Attenborough. Did I get his name right this time, guys? I feel like every time he pops up, I say his name wrong. So please let me know if I got it right this time. George Michael. What beloved comedy TV show or movie do you find painfully unfunny? There's a lot of them. Comedy does not really add up these days, you know? It's different. If you're scrolling through the comments, I can save you some time. Pretty much every comment is that they hate Big Bang Theory and Friends. Also, quite a few hate How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is a great show, but bad ending. Friends, I don't care about. I think Big Bang Theory might be a little overhated in my opinion. The characters are really fun, but the forced laughter is a little much. Those Disney Channel shows, the humor seems very artificial and forced. Two Broke Girls is the least funny sitcom in the history of television. Like many of the other comments, Big Bang Theory. I hold a special disdain for it whenever I tell someone I'm a physicist and their response is, oh, like Sheldon. Yeah, bazinga. Everybody loves Raymond. It was a staple of my childhood in the 90s, but I saw a couple episodes recently and it did not age well. The intergenerational I hate my wife jokes. Yeesh. 2.5 Men is just gross. Everything Chuck Lorre is pretty awful. I think he did Big Bang Theory too. Seinfeld loves the big friend Friends theory. Cheers. Everybody bangs Seinfeld. Let's not. Friends. What child-friendly movie left you traumatized? The first Land Before Time movie is a lot darker and sadder than the sequels that followed. The Fox and the Hound. Fucking Bambi. My mom died, and I watched the movie a few months after, and nobody told me Bambi's mom died. That sucks. Oh no, I'm sorry, buddy. Jumanji. I don't know why my first grade teacher thought that was a good idea. Return to Oz is terrifying. Spirited Away. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie now, but back then I was definitely too young to watch parents turn into pigs. Coraline. Was it Toy Story 3 where they're all holding hands as they advance towards a fiery death? I cried in the theater. Good lord, Disney knows how to pull at the heartstrings like that. The Bridge to Terabithia. Pinocchio, 1940. This guy's old as Holy moly. James and the Giant Peach. I still have random nightmares about overly large fruits. Where the Wild Things Are. My dad took my brother and me to see it when we were kids, and I never forgot the scene where the severed arm was replaced by a stick. I don't remember that. Oh boy. What's the best response to, what are your intentions with my daughter? I'm only dating her to gain access to you. Whew, getting straight away with it. I need a getaway driver, sir. I'm assembling some IKEA at home and really just need a second set of hands. So maybe not on topic, but I started dating this girl in college. One night we were at the club dancing, it got crazy, and I accidentally hit her in the eye with my elbow. Big shiner. That week I met her dad and had to explain that I hit her in the eye accidentally. Wow, that was uncomfortable. I imagine that was really uncomfortable. If things go well, I intend to ask for your daughter's hand because I'm tired of using mine. Hey, let's go. I'm trying to assemble a team of crime fighters, and I believe she has a certain set of skills that makes people like her a nightmare to people like you. To see if I can make her as happy as she makes me. I'm saving that one. Holy moly, I'm saving that one. Just in case I ever find someone attracted to me. Sir, with any luck at all, avoid making a total of myself and hopefully have a nice time. What's the ultimate top Christmas movie of all time? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964. I used to volunteer at a community center during my teenage years, and they had a large screen projector where they would always play it during the holiday season. The original animated How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Home Alone. I know it's new and doesn't have a cult following, others here do, but after first watch, Klaus completely supplanted any others as the annual must-watch Christmas movie. I can actually agree to this. I watched Klaus last year for the first time, and it was so freaking good. It was so cute, and I'm gonna rewatch it again this year. Gremlins. No. A Christmas Story. Sure. Die Hard. Okay. Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I actually haven't seen that one before. Maybe I'll have to watch it this year. What's the worst thing that you can't stop doing? Procrastinating. In one word, overthinking. Caring about what other people think of me. Hating myself. Kids, could you lighten up a little? Overeating. Not only am I accustomed to big portion sizes now, but I'm so fucking hungry all the time. I think I found a way out, but every time I'm eating sensibly, the temptation of have more is always there. Using my phone too much. Falling in love with the wrong people. I fall in love with any woman who's nice to me. Oh man. What made you realize you're not young anymore? Not being the youngest person at work anymore. The nostalgia reboots were for people younger than me. Sad Spyro the Dragon noises. Wasn't Spyro just a remaster? Did they reboot that? I thought it was just remastered like the Crash Bandicoot games. I work at a university and the first years were born after I graduated. Oh man. When I heard some teenagers on the street laughing out loud, it annoys me. I was like that before. You get seen by a doctor that's younger than you. Hurt myself sleeping. In a video game, the old character was born the year I was. I'm in my early 30s, so by anime standards, I'm ancient. When you realize that this is it, this is my life. Having passionate conversations with friends about which vacuum cleaner to buy. Your life is in danger. What fictional character are you choosing to save you? Lassie, of course. Doesn't matter if it's quicksand or a mountain lion or a rock slide. She'll get the job done. Gandalf, Samus, Master Chief, or Shrek. I feel like Master Chief is the good choice out of the four. Is the best choice. Superman should suffice. Creative mode Minecraft Steve. Creative mode Minecraft Steve. That's so good. Great pick. Gandalf. Always Gandalf. Mac. He can give the target an ocular pat down and if necessary, step in to neutralize. What's the scariest way you've been woken up? A spider crawled onto my face. It was a huntsman, which is very common in Australian homes. Completely harmless, but rather large and hairy. Unfortunately, I have a phobia of spiders, and even when I know they're not venomous, I screamed and woke the entire house. I thank God every day for not being born in Australia. Don't worry, there's no such thing as Australia. It was just made up to scare people. Tell that to my bosses. I think Australia is real, guys. Please don't dock my pay. I love Australia. I was staying at a hotel. For whatever reason, they put us in a disabled room. The fire alarm went off in the middle of the night, except you don't just get a fire alarm in a disabled room. You get fire alarm plus, vibrating pillows, and bright flashing red lights. I thought I was being abducted by fucking aliens. I was primitive camping in some deep woods, asleep in the dead of the night when I found out a fox's bark sounds like a child getting their arm torn off. Don't think I've had that much adrenaline in me since. A surprising number of animals can sound like someone being tortured to death. Foxes, mountain lions, and even rabbits. Though in the last case, they probably are being ripped to pieces and eaten alive. That's reassuring, thanks. Woke up to find an arm laying next to me without a body. I was so scared, I grabbed the arm and threw it out of the bed, only to discover it was my own arm. I had accidentally slept on it, cutting off all circulation that I could no longer feel it. Ugh, god damn, that's so scary. I was donating blood, but passed out during it. Had a nightmare while I was passed out that evil doctors were trying to take my blood in my life. Woke up to about 6 doctors trying to pin me down because the needle was still inside of me and I was having spasms. I thought I woke up to those evil doctors though, so I screamed as if my life depended on it and started fighting the doctors until one of them yelled, "Madam, you're at the blood bank, you're donating blood." And then I remembered. Sounds like you were successfully brainwashed into thinking you gave blood voluntarily. We don't gotta gaslight people. We don't gotta do that. So my birthday is April 1st. In 2020, due to COVID lockdowns and my recent job loss, I was not going to celebrate my birthday and wasn't really excited about the April Fool's Day either. Also, my dad had caught COVID and was going through his treatment. I was asleep on the morning of April 1st, and one of my cousins came in and told me that my dad passed away this morning. I couldn't express in words how tired and helpless I felt in those seconds. It was a nightmare. Oh man, I'm so sorry. My husband had a nightmare that he was tied to a chair about to be bludgeoned with a hot clothing iron, screamed like he was about to be murdered, and jumped out of the bed. I was confused and very scared, not knowing what all the screaming was about, so I screamed too, you know, for solidarity. Couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. Also, still tease him about it occasionally. What are you currently deprived of? Oh boy, this should be a good thread. Let's see what they say. Motivation to do anything. Love and platonic physical touch. Money, serotonin, and dopamine, but hopefully my antidepressants are working on it. Lol. Deprived of being oh my god. Whew. People will just say anything on the internet these days. Deprived of being degraded like a good for you. Good for you. Quality chocolate milk and Ham's beer. My local grocery store has been out for weeks now. FML. What is Ham's beer? Is it like ham flavored beer? Friends and pie. Someone just give me some pie. What subscriptions are actually 100% worth it? Costco. Aside from all the cool shit you can buy, it's well known how good they treat their employees. Also, the hot dogs and soft serve are the bomb. I pay $25 a month for Planet Fitness. I live in my car and recently drove from Florida to California over 4 months. Planet Fitness are everywhere. They all have showers. Most are 24-hour or open late. Many let me park overnight. They have massage chairs. I can also bring a guest, which I've done sometimes. I don't think I could live out of my van without it. Planet Fitness being more effective as homeless aid than as an actual gym is both wholesome and hilarious. Audible. You get an audiobook a month for very cheap, and it's kept my mental health stable for years now. The internet. Kindle Unlimited. For me, Switch Online. I love my console in Splatoon and Mario Kart. Which actor or actress is far more talented than they are given credit for? Toni Collette. Guy Pearce should have become a top leading man. Andy Serkis is the best. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Definitely Jack Black. When I saw that Jack Black was going to be Bowser in the Mario movie, oh my god, I lost my mind. Paul Rudd. His performance as Ant-Man was Oscar material. Justin Long seems to be pretty underrated. Redditors born before 1997. What do you think of Gen Z? Gen X here. Don't care what pigeonhole they're in. If they're decent, then I like them. If they're wankers, I don't. Pretty simple, really. I don't judge them, and I sure as shit am glad I didn't grow up with social media. I feel incredibly sad you had no chance to experience life without internet or cameras everywhere. Born in 65. I don't care what generation you're from, we are all eating the same pile. Wise words. I'm a millennial, 91, and I think they're a little crazy, but with a good reason. They're also, generally speaking, doing good things as far as trying to change the workforce that was established in what, 1926? I agree that 5 to 8 work weeks in order to barely survive is caca. Professionally speaking, I have hope. My opinion is mostly based on things I see through social media and etc., as I don't really have anyone in my social circle. But the general impression I have is that Gen Z are more open-minded and inclusive, braver, more creative, and can stand up for themselves and what they believe in. I'd like them to get off my lawn. I birthed one. She's a great kid. Yes, she's an adult, but always a kid to mama. Good head on her shoulders, but only time will tell. I'm worried she'll never move out. What is something you didn't realize was going to consume so much of your time as an adult? Cooking and laundry. I wear like 3 different outfits every week, and I just wash that same load of laundry over and over again. So laundry's cool. I don't do the whole colors in different loads. It's all a scam by Big Laundry to get you to buy more detergent. And fabric softener's a scam too. I just use a little bit of detergent and I put all of my clothes in one load of laundry, and it smells good, and I'm clean, and I'm good. Driving to places I don't even want to go. Cleaning. It never ends. Commuting. Making home-cooked dinners. Deciding what to have for dinner. What Pokemon would you eat? Who gave me this thread? Who did this to me? You guys know this is my thing. Oh, this is f***ed up. This is messed up. What the hell? All right. Krabby is the obvious choice. Krabby's one of my favorite Pokemon. Why would you say this? Slowpoke tail. Gotta try them all. Gotta fry them all. No, guys, come on. You can't do this to me. Magikarp and Chips. Misty, you're gross. Misty's a child. Misty is like 10 or 11 years old, you freak. What did you think only rich people could afford until you realized you were just broke growing up? Orange juice. As a kid, I vowed to be able to afford as much orange juice as I wanted when I got older. Started working in high school and used my first paycheck to buy a gallon of orange juice. I drank it all in one day and got horrible diarrhea. Oh, sad. Target clothes. Apparently clothes from Target are considered cheap. I grew up thinking that's where my rich classmates got clothes. New clothes for no reason. I was so confused when I got to high school and girls would just suddenly have the new trend piece. I didn't understand why they were just allowed to have them. Things at the book fair. You could probably buy a good hoard of stuff from the book fair for $30 to $50 looking back. I was given $7 one year to buy something and I couldn't afford a book. Name brand cereal. I was looked at crazy in first grade when I said an off-brand name cereal was my favorite. The off-brands taste better, in my opinion. Like if you go to get the Malto meal bags of cereal where it's like a big plastic bag of Cocoa Dino Bites. God, yes. Love the Cocoa Dino Bites. Anything that required money at school. If anything required bringing money to school, I just took it as something I'll have no part of. Thankfully, I had friends that were much the same, so we got through it well. Crayola. You knew if you were a Rose Art kid. My aunt, who lived far away, worked for Crayola Canada at one point and sent us a giant box of stuff one year. I still remember opening that box. What gets a lot of hate but deserves every bit of it? Child beauty pageants. Paper cuts. Waking up and having to pee so bad you have to get up but also so tired you can't. Content creators. Purposefully annoying people for likes. Nestle. That's a based answer. Thank you. Mosquitoes. People who talk at the theater. Men of Reddit. What are some she's a 10 but for you? When she thinks you're arguing every time you try to voice an issue that needs to resolve and she shuts you down, effectively ruining mature conversation and therefore being in a state of perpetual disagreement or lack of proper efficient communication. She's a 10 but out of 100. Basic personality can turn a 10 to a 4 pretty quick. She's a 10 but it's on the pH scale. Hey, that's a good one. In case you non-science nerds don't get it, that means she's basic. She's a 10 but I'm a scrubby unpleasant can of ham, so it's off. What? She's a 10 but I'm a 2. She's a 10 but in prison for honeymoon murder. She's a 10 but is happily married. She pours her milk before the cereal. Guys, I'm gonna say something really controversial here. I don't do this. I don't, I promise. But what's the problem with it? It just means that less cereal gets milk on it and you get more crunchy crunch. She's a 10 but she's a Disney adult. She's a 10 but is unable to maintain deep ideological conversations. You sound boring. Introvert people, what are some annoying things extrovert people do? Why are you so quiet? I don't know. Why are you so loud? Yo, why are you always so quiet? Inviting people from other social circles unannounced. What are you reading? What's it about? Talk constantly without saying anything. Always calling instead of texting. Oh, I hate when people call me. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Just text me. I will respond to you. Feeling too confident in saying rubbish. Which show left you with a holy that was a good show feeling at the end? For me, it was Steven Universe. Very good show. Even Steven Universe Future. Very good. I love it. Chernobyl. Fleabag. It was getting better and better and I don't need any more because the ending was perfect. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Ended on a super hopeful and satisfying note. Dark. Gotta say Adventure Time. That show made my childhood, man. Futurama. BoJack Horseman. Stranger Things. I still haven't finished season 4. What's the best rap line of all time? Honey plays me close like butter plate toast. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. She got a big booty so they call a big booty. Better wear a latex because you don't want that late text that I think I'm late text, so wrap it up. Lollipop, Lil Wayne. That's a really good line. Oh my god. What's a conspiracy theory so obviously true but people still don't believe it? MK Ultra. People who aren't into conspiracy theories and actually haven't heard of it would probably not believe the US actually tried to make astral projection spies by giving people and torturing them, but there's also a lot of BS claims about it that aren't true. Rocks are soft and squishy and only tense up when you touch them. I hate how much I love this, especially being near a coal mine. The McDonald's employees just don't want to fix the ice cream machine. Sugar makes you fat. Been known since the 50s. The CIA overthrew a lot of democratically elected socialist governments. Not really much of a conspiracy or theory, it says so on their wiki. The moon landing was fake and filmed by Kubrick, and his undying love for perfection pushed him to film on location. What's the most scariest or unsettling traveling place you've ever been to. I think the most off experience I had was on the road from Wyoming to Red Rocks for a concert. We ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere in a reservation. Within 5 minutes, an older man pulled up in his pickup truck and asked us what we were doing there. We told him we were out of gas, and he immediately grabbed a gas can out of his truck and started filling our tank. In the time it took him to do this, 3 more vehicles pulled up to where we were and just stayed there. We tried to offer the old man money for the gas, and he just said, "Leave, just go, get out of here now." That is a little eerie. That freaks me out just a little bit. When I was at university, there was an old abandoned mental hospital on a hill. It had been featured in a few scariest places in the US TV shows. My freshman year, our resident assistant took us all on a walking tour of the outside of the asylum. It wasn't so much that it looked scary, it did, but it had a whole vibe that made me feel unwelcome there. When I got back to my dorm the next day, I woke up to find my alarm clock had not gone off for class. I looked around my room and found all of my clocks were on different times by a few hours. The VCR, the microwave, the wall clock, my watch. Anyhow, the university ended up buying the property and uses it today. I have no idea if the people there have creepy experiences. New Orleans is interesting because on one street you're fine, and on the next you'll get shot by an 11-year-old over $9. Corporate headquarters of this giant privately owned mega corporation in Atlanta. Soulless robotic people. Hard to explain the atmosphere, but sort of a work will set you free kind of vibe. Creepiest place I've ever been. A playground that doubled as a bomb shelter. This is the reality for children who live there. It was painted bright colors, but was disturbing. Carabash, destroyed nature, red, toxic river, black, man-made hills consisting of mining waste, poverty, and this hill roughly translated to God save us. It filled me with dread every time we drove by. Jesus, I looked it up, and every picture looks like if a whole town could be a carcinogen. Lived in a 200-year-old colonial house in Rhode Island as a kid. The basement was terrifying. There was a tangibly oppressive sense of evil the moment one walked down the stairs. My grandmother refused to go down after the first time whenever she visited. Turns out the original owner had been a slave smuggler. The DMZ in Korea is cool to visit, but definitely bizarre and tense. Hey everybody, that's it today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. You get notified every time this channel uploads. Thank you so much, and have a good one.